Hello everyone, welcome to Content Writing course with Henry Howen. Content is anything that adds value to the reader's life. Consistent, engaging, and high quality content impacts the audience more than any other technique. Knowledge of content writing is one of the most important skills to be learned today because any source of information requires content. There are so many amazing benefits to learn content writing skills, such as there will be high career growth and development. You get to know all about Google, you get diverse work experiences, and there will be great boost to your self-confidence and vocabulary. In this course, we will be learning about language skills, which will cover knowledge about content, vocabulary, and how can you come up with great titles for content writing. Then we will also learn about internet skills, where we will understand how to do internet research, how to use Google effectively, how can we make use of article directories, how to check content for copyrights using useful and helpful tools for content writing. We will also learn about book writing, grant writing, leveraging social media for content distribution, and there will be a lot of tips for academic writing and so on. In this course, apart from all these knowledgeable skills, we will also get to learn how can we get content writing projects, how to earn online and use different platforms to get new projects and earn from it. Our training methods at Henry Howen will help you gain theoretical knowledge with practical capabilities. So, are you ready to dive in? Sign up for lifetime access to the course along with a lot of projects and assignments to practice. Register now.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining. Greetings of the day. I'm Neda Jihad Yunus, and I would be your instructor for the CDCW course. The CDCW course, we have overall of 6 modules, and to begin with, we will be going through the first module right now. But before that, let me just give you a bit of an introduction of myself, so you would be knowing who your trainer is. All right, okay. So I've been associated with Henry Howen as a trainer for the past 2 years, trained over 450 plus participants pan India, delivered corporate trainings and customized content to suit the requirements accordingly. I'm an MBA in finance and marketing with a corporate background, having worked with Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, and Swiss Re Shared Services. I'm into blogging, so I'm a blogger, creative writer, an author, and an influencer. I admin my Facebook page, Echoed Emotions, quotes and articles, with 90,000 plus followers. I admin and also share my blogs on my website, that is www.echoedemotions.com. I've authored the book Echoed Emotions Kioskist, Kindle version available on Amazon.in, and the paperback available on Amazon.com. I also conduct writing and poetry workshops at schools. I'm a freelance writer for creative writing, persuasive writing, and academic writing. Being associated with cutting edge translation services, Septis, a Salesforce consulting partner, Inked Emotions, Case Studies London for management related subjects, and that's to name a few. And I also have my courses on English grammar and finance related subjects published on Unacademy. So that's a little bit about me. So to begin with, let's go through the agenda of module 1. So we obviously will be discussing about the main basic concepts and stuff. So, later on through the entire course, words relevant to the content writing and stuff won't be jargons to you guys. So we'll be going in more into language skills and, tips on building your vocabulary, how to come up with a great title and all of that. So tactical versus strategy, expert and influencer, aggregation and agglomeration, tones and its types, different styles of writing, how to structure your sentence, common grammatical errors, then the spelling differences of UK and the US, transactional cost, creative and technical writing, readability versus your searchability, a lot into your punctuation rules, your content formats, then a content flow and presentation, and different usage of words and stuff. All right, so let's get started. Now, moving on to module 2, it's all about the internet skills and, a lot more, many concepts. So let's look into the agenda first. So we would be discussing about the online research, basically how you can get better at your research, internet using through Google, then Wolfram Alpha, which is a computational tool, article directories, spinning software, cover page designing, checking for copyrights, Creative Commons, Grammarly, Ginger, Hemingway, Google local pages, blogging, logo software, content tags and categories, the use of keyword planner, Google Analytics, AXA ranks, using social media for content distribution, and designing your website with WordPress and Wix. It would be the free version. So mostly this module is more into practical, getting down to your practicalities and, getting better with the tools and the softwares and having a better hold on, the different softwares which are required for a content writer. So firstly, how to do online research. So there are many search engines, right? So we are going to understand which search engine to use when. Of course, among Google, Yahoo and Bing and a lot more. Google is the most popular and the most reliable search engine, but let's dig in deeper. Now, what to choose when? Now, for keyword searching, like, for example, if you want to search chocolates or cakes or the history of Taj Mahal, all these are your keywords. So the keyword searching, we have Google, DuckDuckGo and Ask. So the thing about DuckDuckGo is this search engine does not track your search history. So like Google, they do track your search history, right? But when you go into the incognito mode onto Google, that's when you're just trying to, hide your privacy. I mean, you're just then that you want your privacy and you're just trying to hide your search history. So like it works just like the incognito tab of Google. So let's just open up DuckDuckGo. So now again, this DuckDuckGo is a keyword that we have searched finally on Google, right? Okay. So to find another search engine, again, we are going to the main search engine, which is Google. So DuckDuckGo, let's open it up. The tagline itself says that it does not track your search history. Look, it says privacy simplified. So add privacy protection to your browser, search privately, block tracker, secure connections, and a lot more. So this is your DuckDuckGo search engine. So the moment you want to search anything without your, being tracked, to just protect your privacy, you can use this search engine and go ahead with your further research. Now, learning about article spinning. So what is article spinning? Have you heard of it? Okay, so article spinning is, we have different websites that you can actually get to, spin your article. When I say spin your article in the sense, it means to say you have written a piece. So what you're going to do is now you're going to copy that piece. Either you can just copy it or you can upload a file and then try and spin it using any one of these software. So when you spin it, what's going to happen? It's going to give you a new shape to your article. Probably it's going to for sure try and retain the original meaning as much as possible, but it would try and give it a new shape in terms of using different words. Maybe it may try and polish it a bit. It may try and give different synonyms to the same thing and all of that. Okay. So now let's just check out spinbot.com. However, these are free. Yes, these are spinbot.com and article spinner, spinner sheaf. So we will try 2-3 of these and see what works for us. So let's open spinbot.com. Then I will open up my website and I will pick up probably 2 to 3 lines from here. Okay. And I'm just going to try and spin it now. Okay. So same thing, you can just pick up anything of your piece that you've written. Otherwise, just for you to get a hang of it, you can just open up any website simultaneously and try and spin the given piece. Yes. So once it opens up, we will run it through and see. So here you can, so you have up to 10,000 characters, which you can go ahead and check out. So now I've copied that. So now what I'm going to do is I will paste. Okay, so I will paste the stuff here. Copy it. Once you've copied the piece. Yeah, so now once you've copied the piece, just paste it here. So let us read that before. There's a special category of knowledge for unpleasant things that you know intellectually, discuss openly, and yet cannot fully comprehend on a fundamental level. It's like when you and your friends pick apart the intricacies of a relationship you all know is doomed. Or whenever you read that the only real way to stop looking so tired is to drink water all day long and go to bed at a reasonable hour. This is how my internet use made me feel for a long time. I was aware that it was making me manic and increasingly nihilistic, but I still logged on every day for 4 to 12 hours just to see what was up. Okay, so now this is the one piece that I've copied from a thought catalog, and I just want to spin it and see how the different shape would look like, with the help of Spinbot, the different way in which we could write this. Okay, so then I just say, I'm not a robot, check this box. Once it's checked, we hit go, and then we see the spun article now. Moving on to designing, the complete designing part and stuff, where you'll be designing a lot of posters, flyers, especially designing your cover pages, your book covers, and all of that. See, designing is also a very important requirement as a content writer. Now, for sure, your content is one of the main aspects, to send out your message and all of that. But, having it sent out in a creative manner matters a lot. You have your content, you've put it on text, you're sending it out to people, you're helping your business grow, your brand grow, but also at the same time you need to make sure that your message is read, right? That your message is read, people are engaging a lot with your message, with your content, with your brand. People are commenting, engaging, sharing it, liking it. So this is even more important than just sending out your message. So why is it required for a writer, be it any writer, technical writer, creative writer, fictional writer? Why is it important for him to also have this graphic designing skills? Firstly, to add beauty, to add color, to be able to go ahead and post your content on different platforms, especially on social media, and to make it look aesthetically beautiful. And there are various factors, especially on social media. Nothing just goes on plain written text, right? So instead of you just delivering content, it would definitely be an added advantage, and it would definitely serve as a great portfolio if you could definitely incorporate a designing aspect. So now we'll be looking into the designing part. We'll be going through different websites and softwares through which you can make your text look more beautiful. So we have canva.com. So you can just simply go to www.canva.com. We have other few links here. So this is for creating book covers. So I might as well just go to the main page of Canva. So if you're a new user to Canva, firstly, you need to sign up. You can either sign up with your Facebook or your Gmail. All right. So if you see on Canva, the best thing about Canva is you already have a ready templates, be it a poster, a flyer, a card, an invitation, or infographic, or a certificate, or your resume. You have all of these templates readily available. And even better is for each and every template that is available, or Instagram or your Facebook cover, the size is exactly what is required. Because what happens most of the time, we like a particular picture or an image, then we we write on it, and then when we try to share it or set it as our Facebook cover, we see that it is not at the right size. We'll have to then go ahead and resize it, or we'll have to play around with trying and cropping it and making sure then it somehow kinds of fits into the desired image size. Moving on to module 3. So let's just see what we have lined up in module 3 and the agenda that we have for module 3. So it's more into, the different types of writing, getting down to the theory and, each and every. Moving on to module 3. So let's just see what we have lined up in module 3 and the agenda that we have for module 3. So it's more into, the different types of writing, getting down to the theory and, each and every tiny detail into writing. Like, we are just going to be covering different types of writing, which you will get to know, especially when it comes to article, how an article is different from a blog, and all of these different kinds of writing we will be taking you through in module 3. Whereas the module 4 is the academic content type, content writing. Whereas module 3, we are going to be focusing on all these different types. So we have article writing, blog and social media. Then we will be going into reviewing books, copywriting, landing pages, ebook writing. Then we have writing cover letters, ghost writing, grant writing, script writing, dialogue writing, press releases, product reviews and descriptions, technical writing, then user manuals, frequently asked questions, fiction writing, medical writing, SEO writing, resume writing, newsletters, magazines, and proposals. So, module 3 is more into the different types of writing and how we could, how one type of writing is different for the other and how to make the best use of it. Yeah, so the first thing is how to begin with book writing, right? So the main thing is to begin with book writing. Now, when we are into writing and, we write a lot of poetry, we write a lot of technical stuff. It could be you're writing a lot on a specific domain, a specific topic that you have an expertise in a domain. So writing on, so you have everything written down there. Now it's time for you to get down to writing a book. Probably you want to write a novel, or probably you just want to write a story or poetry. There should be a start and an end to it, right? So now let's look into the different way we can, write a novel, and how we can go ahead and go to publish it, to send a proposal to the publishers, and all of these we will be discussing now. So, the very first thing is obviously the main idea. You need to begin with writing a book. You cannot just say, I want to write a book, and you start writing a book immediately on the spot now. So there should be, the main thing is about writing, coming up with an idea. What should your book be all about? Should it be on the technical terms? Should it be on your domain knowledge? Should it be based on your HR policies that you know, or your technical terms, or some advices, or some inspirational stuff? Or there should be a hook to your novel, or it could be anything. Now, say for example, if you want to write on child psychology. So on child psychology, there are different types of subtopics that you can specifically write on. Okay, so there is different ways to come up with your own idea. No one can influence you as to what your idea should be about. Maybe you can definitely get insights, but the main thing is the interest that you want to write on. Now, let's say that you have a particular book in mind. You want to write something on fiction now. Moving on to grant writing. So, with grant writing, it is basically, to write in a manner for raising funds. It's probably from an institution, for governments, for corporations, or from foundations or trusts. So, here the tune and the tone of the language has to be very polite, right? Because you're seeking for grants. And in fact, a grant is different from a proposal because a loan, a grant is different from a loan. So, a loan you have to pay back, whereas a grant you do not have to pay back. So you are asking for some kind of permission or financial help. It would be with regards to helping an NGO or anything of that sort. So let's look into the format of grant writing and all. Yeah, so grant writing is writing proposals for the funding of research program or any event from the government, corporates, or trusts. So yes, when we are talking about seeking for a research now in your college at all, if there is a person from a college or from the academic who wants to go ahead and conduct a research. So obviously they would then, seek for grants from the college, universities and stuff. And a grant would then be, usually a percentage is kept away for, grants and stuff. But yeah, and I feel that yes, there is a scope in this research and it would definitely be beneficial to the name of the university and the college. They would go ahead and sponsor their research programs and stuff. But research can get expensive if, it has to be conducted by an individual. So So here, they would help the students and staff to go ahead with the process and the research and, understanding all of the different ways, the quantitative, the qualitative measures, and the process is pretty expensive. So this is one type of grant. And another type of a grant is probably, NGOs seeking for grants to go ahead and fund the organization or to fund certain events and, for the upliftment of the society. And then I'll also give you another example. Now, in an educational school, okay, an educational institution, probably there are, 50% or you can say 40% of the students are lagging behind, as in they do not have the grasping capabilities and the capacity as a normal kids should. Here, what happens then, this educational institution would probably write grant proposal and send it out to higher institutions, or, send it out to various foundations and corporations seeking for assistance. So then they would go ahead and state the problem that right now there are probably 50% to say whatever percentage of the students are lagging behind, and they are not able to cope up with the other students because of so and so factors. So we require probably a grant of 1 lakh, through which we would definitely go ahead and conduct a lot of training programs. We would go ahead and kind of do a lot of activities. We would just try different ways of teaching, different methods of teaching. We would probably use different instruments. Probably we would use different tools and equipments and techniques of teaching in order to go ahead and bring all the students at the same level of grasping capacity or memorizing stuff. So this would be one way of asking for a grant as well. So there are different ways. So however, the main thing is the tune and the tone of the language has to be very polite. Moving on to reference guides. Now, what is a reference guide? Yes, it has to be very concise. And a reference guide is a detailed reference of some particular part of the software. Now, it is mostly, with reference to the internal team. This is not for the audience or the layman. A reference guide is specifically for the internal team, for the teammates to understand, the particular part of a software and all of that. So it is a detailed reference of a particular part of the software. Usually it is concise notes on a specific topic, detailed information within a very few words. So you need to have a lot of the information, detailed information mentioned, but with as few words as possible, right? So you need to give them a lot of information, a lot of insights about a product or about a software, but making it concise and precise at the same time. Yeah, so it is an advanced version of a user guide which is created for users who are familiar with the software. So who are the ones familiar with the software? It's usually the internal team, right, within your team. The software but needs some details or quick reference regarding certain aspects of a product. So this is mostly for the in-house, for the different colleagues or for the employees and basically the teammates within a team. So therefore there are particular requirements which are crucial for this kind of a guide, and it is different from your user manual. These are the terminologies and stuff you can use here. You can use your terminologies and stuff here because they are the ones who are familiar with the product, who are familiar with the device, who are familiar with the software. Now you just need them to just get a quick insights on the more you can say advanced version. So this is the one. So creating an effective and efficient reference manual. So yes, make it searchable. You need to make it searchable by reading. The reader expects to quickly find out what he or she is keeping an eye out. Now they quickly know which topic to go to, where exactly they need to go ahead and get this information from, or all of this they already know. They are pretty much well versed with it, but they just have some quick doubts which they would want to go back to a reference guide and kind of understand. So this is your reference guide. You need to make it searchable. Making sure that the best solution for this is probably, to make an index where all the articles are put in alphabetical order. So once it is all in alphabetical order, it becomes very easy for the users to understand which topic lies where and where they should be going ahead in order to search for the topic. So this is important aspect to be noted down and kept, that the index is very important for a reference guide. Yeah, so moving on to module 4, and module 4 is all about the academic content writing and the different types of, writing in the academic area and the academic field. So module 3 was more into the other types of writing, and you had various different types of writing and stuff. But module 4 focuses purely on the academic side. So yeah, let's go through the agenda that we have in module 4. So firstly, we have question banks, workbooks, study materials, then the courseware, academic guides, tutorial, e-learning, white papers, research papers and thesis, content referencing, project reports, rubrics, and instructional design. So moving on to module 5, it's all about strategy. So we now know the different types, the different styles of writing, how to go ahead and structure your content, the different formats, and all of that. Now the main thing is, if we do not have a strategy, there's nowhere that our content is going, there's no direction to put our content through, right? So this module is going to be taking you through to creating a strategy, a content strategy, and which is going to give you a direction and your business a direction to how to go ahead and actually target your audience. So let's see what we have stored in the agenda. So yeah, so this is mainly the strategic versus the tactics, then a development guide for your content strategy, the main key elements, then creating better content for internal communication, strategic and non-strategic content, so content marketing challenges, creating content for social media, creating and promoting brands, building user experience with content marketing, then market segmentation, buyer persona, then the different kinds of content strategies. Then we have the Maslow's approach to content strategy, Porter's 5 force model. Then we have ninja writing and a writer's block. So yeah, so these are the topics that we shall be discussing in module 5. So firstly, we need to begin with what is strategic content, right? So basically, your content strategy is the high level vision that kind of guides your future content development for you to go ahead and deliver against specific business objectives. So that's the ideal content strategy. You need to have a goal to where you are heading. All right. So if you have that in mind, it's then that you can go ahead and prepare content keeping your main objective in mind. Yeah. So now what is strategic content? So it is content creation without a strategy, obviously leads to, something very generic, leads to content with no defined objectives, goals, themes, or that lacks a main purpose. So this can actually get really confusing, and what's going to happen is going to eventually have a negative impact on your brand's credibility, right? So there's something that leads to generic content, that when you have a generic content, what's going to happen, the organic reach is obviously going to decrease, the number of shares, the number of engagements, all of this is going to happen if you kind of skip the strategy in your content creation. So this could easily, lose your audience, lose your potential customers, and obviously they are going to eliminate people from actually visiting your website, or trying to grasp information from your site, or basically just look into more about your product details. Moving on to the last module of the entire syllabus of CDCW, this is in getting hired. In fact, it's probably one of the most important modules that everyone are looking forward, right? So before we go ahead and understand the different websites to go and apply, we kind of first need to understand what would be the job description of a content writer. So anyways, let's look into the agenda for module 6. We have portfolio building, websites for content writing projects, writing proposals, then using different tracking software, setting up the milestones, payments through escrow, withdrawing dollar amounts through PayPal, that is basically PayPal, and understanding the SEO, because all through, I think in every model that we have spoken a little bit of SEO. So by now you need to have like brief idea about what SEO is, and how important it is to go ahead and optimize your website or your content in order to go ahead and reach organically, to have a higher organic reach basically. So the first most important thing is you need to go ahead and build your portfolio now in order to go ahead and apply at different job boards or different websites, so basically for a content writing role. Because if you have a strong portfolio, it's already going to serve as an experience for you. You may be thinking that you are now wanting to jump, a career shift or a change in career, right? Or you just are trying to enter into this content writing industry and the field as a fresher. But how are people going to judge you? How are you going to bag this job, or how are you going to get yourself placed? And that adds credibility as well. It would be based on your portfolio, because when interview people, in different roles and jobs, we can there would be questions thrown to understand the employee if he is suitable for the job or not, basically to understand his knowledge in the domain, or the ease of his work. And basically there are different aspects through which you can go ahead and judge a person's capability in a certain domain or a specific field. But when it comes to content writing, just based on a few questions, like 10, 20 questions, whatever questions are being sent out, it's really difficult to kind of judge the credibility of a writer. You cannot judge a writer's capabilities based on a few questions that are thrown to him, right? So his work needs to be seen, his work needs to be appreciated, and has to be in sync with the organizational goals. So you need to go ahead and build your portfolio based on your likes and your interests to get yourself a job in your field of interest, right? And the main thing about content writing is no one can kind of train you how to write. Obviously, there are different elements to write, the style, the tone, the tips on building your vocabulary, the different ways that you need to suit and adapt your research techniques, and all of this could be, briefly explained, and different tools and softwares to go ahead and enhance your writing. But when it comes down to teaching writing, no one can really teach you to craft your words, or no one can really teach you to inspire people through your words. That needs to be brought out from within you. So this is why building great portfolio needs to be built in such a way that it works for you and not against you, right? So writers create portfolios basically for three main reasons. That is, in order to get more work. So you're already having work now. How are you going to get more work? By, you have your portfolio out there. So a portfolio is a way to kind of understand your capabilities as a writer. You cannot, if anyone just point blankly says you are a writer, okay, fine, but what makes you a writer? How do I judge your writing? Portfolio is very common in modeling and all that.